Thank you, Marie. And thank you, esteemed members of the faculty, proud parents, devoted friends, squirming siblings. Congratulations to all of you, but especially congratulations to the magnificent Berkeley class of 2016. What I want to talk about today is what you do next, about the things you can do to overcome adversity, no matter when it hits you or how it hits. The easy days ahead of you will be easy. It is the hard days, the days that challenge you to your very core, that will determine who you are. You will be defined not just by what you achieve, but by how you survive. A few weeks after Dave died, I was talking to my friend Phil about a father-son activity Dave would not be here to do. We came in with a plan to fill in for Dave, but I cried to Phil. I said, I want Dave. Phil put his arm around me and said, option A is not available, so let's just kick the shit out of option B. We all at some point live some form of option B. The question is, what do we do next? Psychologist Martin Seligman found that there are 3 Ps: personalization, pervasiveness, and permanence, that are critical to how we bounce back from hardship. The seeds of resilience are planted in the way we process the negative events of our lives. The first P is personalization, the belief that we are at fault. This is different from taking responsibility, which you should always do. This is the lesson that not everything that happens to us happens because of us. When Dave died, I had a very common reaction, which was to blame myself. He died in seconds from a cardiac arrhythmia. I pored over his medical records, asking what I could have or should have done. It wasn't until I learned about the 3 Ps that I accepted that I could not have prevented his death. His doctors had not diagnosed his coronary artery disease. I was an economics major. How could I? Studies show that getting past personalization can make us stronger. The second P is pervasiveness, the belief that an event will affect all areas of your life. You know that song, Everything is Awesome? This is the flip. Everything is awful. There's nowhere to hide from the all-consuming sadness. The child psychologist I spoke to encouraged me to get my children back to their routine as quickly as possible. So 10 days after Dave died, my kids went back to school, and I went back to work. I remember sitting in my first Facebook meeting in a total haze, thinking, what is everyone talking about, and how could this possibly matter? And then I got drawn into the conversation, and for a second, the briefest of all seconds, I forgot about death. That second helped me see that there were other things in my life that were not awful. My children and I were healthy. My friends and family, some of whom are with me today, were carrying us quite literally. The third P is permanence, the belief that the sorrow will last forever. This was the hardest by me for far, because for so long it felt like the overwhelming grief would never leave. We often project our current feelings out indefinitely. We're anxious, and then we're anxious that we're anxious. We're sad, and then we're sad that we're sad. Instead, we should accept our feelings, but know that they won't last forever. My rabbi of all people actually told me, and this is a quote, that I should lean into the suck. Not what I meant when I said lean in. None of you need me to explain the fourth P, which is, of course, pizza from Cheeseboard. But I wish I had known about the three Ps where I was your age, because there are so many times they would have helped me. One day, my friend Adam Grant, a psychologist, suggested that I think about how much worse things could be. This was completely counterintuitive to me. I would have thought that getting through something like death was about finding every positive thought I could. Worse, I said to him, are you crazy? How could things be worse? He looked at me and said, Dave could have had that same cardiac arrhythmia driving your children. The minute he said it, I felt overwhelming gratitude that my children were alive, and that gratitude overtook some of the grief. Finding gratitude and appreciation is key to resilience. People who take the time to list the things they're grateful for are healthier and happier. Build resilience in yourselves. When tragedy or dismay strike, know that you have deep within you the ability to get through anything, and I mean anything. I promise you do. As the saying goes, we are more vulnerable than we ever thought, but we are stronger than we ever imagined. My favorite poster at work reads, "Nothing at Facebook is someone else's problem." When you see things that are broken, and you will see things that are broken, go fix them. Build resilient communities. We find our humanity, our will to live, and our ability to love in our relationships with each other. Be there for your family and friends. And I mean in person, not just in a message with a heart emoji. Lift each other up. Help each other kick the shit out of option B. And celebrate every moment of joy. Go Bears!